Hey there, hi there, Aries. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your Timeless Dream Love reading. So, yeah, you can help me with that. You can play with that if you want. Oh, you want to open these cards first? Okay, so Luna wants to open the Darkwood Tarot first for you guys. So, let's see what we got here. Ooh, look at that. Let's see. What do we got first? Ooh, we got the King of Cups. I like it. Whoop, King of Cups. All right, so that's a nice energy. I feel like that's a good energy to start with. Which one do you have on that? Can I see? Oh, we got the Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups. All right, so immediately I'm thinking there might be some sort of opposing energy. Yeah, that's okay. We can use that one too. The Five of Wands, yes, the chaos. So we've got some chaos going on here, but it's nothing you can't handle, Aries. And I feel like you, overall have a good head on your shoulders, and uh, yeah. So let's see what the Knight of Cups says. Okay, I'm gonna read from the Darkwood Tarot book. Let's see, Knight of Cups. Let's go with that. Ooh, there's some cards in here for you. Ooh, the Magician and the Queen of Cups. Wow. And this landed on the Four of Swords. So maybe I should just start with the Four of Swords. Okay, so you have, a male figure leaning over towards a female, and it almost looks like he's like there to maybe hurt her, but we won't know till we read some more. Four of Swords, happily never after. Four is the number of stability. Ooh, that's a good number. Okay. Swords are the suit of the mind. Okay. It is the calmness and quiet that we enjoy when mentally balanced. Yet even the surface, water, is bound to be touched by wind sooner or later. The mind is an ebb and flow of thought, realization, logic, and knowledge. A woman sleeps, or does she? A man approaches her bedside wearing dastardly gloves. Three swords hang preciously above his body. The woman holds tight to the fourth sword. What happens when the story you cherished, loved, and believed in doesn't work anymore? How do you adapt when stability is threatened? Can you accept truth when it stares you in the face? Old stories are dying. The new narratives must unravel. It is the nature of evolution. All things want to grow. You have the means of protection at hand. You have the power to adapt to any situation once your mind is made up. Trust your inner voice. Hear the inner whisper speaking truth in your ears. Know what you know. React accordingly. Sleep well. Meaning, a need for new stories, narratives, and unique ideas. Balanced and logical thoughts. Rest with a plan for action. Just when everything is settled, something comes along to provoke you in new and interesting ways. Trust what you know instead of what you see. Shadow. What happens when we realize the bedrock of personal stories and agreed upon narratives no longer work? Will you cling to outdated mythology because it's comfortable, or will you pick up all available tools and move boldly into a future of your own? Making. So many of the stories we were told belong to an older generation with their own unique needs and circumstances. Evolving consciousness invites fresh perspectives. What do you still believe? What needs to change? Yeah, there's some maybe lucid dreaming happening, Aries, where you're fully aware that you're in the dream world, but you're there's literally not much you can do other than let the scene play out and then draw conclusions from that. Okay, so I think that's kind of what's happening here. I also think this might have something to do with an ex. Okay, so that's why it's old narratives, because I feel like an ex of yours is somebody who is recently visited you in the dream world and has presented themselves in a way where they are still very young and they still haven't really experienced the world fully. And I still feel like they have kind of sort of come to their own conclusions of uh, how they should act towards you. That's why I feel like the dastardly gloves are like a symbol for like they already predetermined that they were going to treat you a certain way, and you kind of always had to hold tight to like this old narrative of like I need to be cautious of this person because they aren't like fully embracing like you're not seeing like the Lover's card appear here. Okay, this is literally like the Four of Swords. Okay, that's a completely different turnaround from like the Lover's card. Okay, the Lovers would be something more meaningful, maybe some kind of sacred union here, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing that you need to be cautious and careful of this person. Obviously they're an ex, so if they come into your dream and you're seeing them come into your dream, what they're trying to tell you, right? What are they trying to tell you here? And it's like, beware, be cautious here. Four of Swords, okay? Okay, Queen of Cups and the Magician, okay? So these were right there alongside the Four of Swords, okay? And you had the Knight of Cups as well. So I'm going to go over the Knight of Cups with you, okay? Because I think emotional fulfillment is like really important here. Are these relationships emotionally fulfilling you? Because your ex didn't emotionally fulfill your needs, right? So that's why they're your ex. Otherwise, you would have broken up with them. So there's some other relationships occurring around you that aren't fulfilling your emotional needs. I feel like is what's happening here. Also, I think that maybe your ex offered a certain type of fulfillment, but it wasn't like fully to its fullest potential. That's why you have the the Knight of Cups. Okay. Yeah, here we go, Knight of Cups. Yeah, so take a look here. The Knight of Cups. Okay. So, and here's the card here for you to look at. The Knight of Cups. Okay. So this is the romantic, okay? The Knight of Romance, the waterfall is a symbol of his wild and pouring emotions. Moonlight glitters and bounces across the space he has cleared. He's been waiting for you his whole life. You have arrived. A picnic is set, a romantic dinner for two, bathed in moonlight near the sound of rushing water. He holds a single cup. Will you accept his gift? Bubbles spill from the cup. Will you risk your tender heart? The Knight of Cups spills poetry, emotion, and feeling. He dreams of clarity and intense emotion, causing the material world to follow suit. Can you dream with such passion? Fuel your imagination, because love is on the horizon. Romance, sweet nothings, charming nature, romantic messages are on the way. Poetry and prose, passionate suitor, dazzling display of affection. Okay, so yeah, so I do see the picnic down here. Okay, so why then is like your ex appearing in your dreams if you are somebody who is dreaming also about romance? Obviously, there was a time when you probably thought like a dream come true would be, spending the rest of your life with this person, or maybe not the rest of your life, I don't know, but if you are young and you fall in love when you're young, okay, or you have those feelings of love when you're young, you might not fully understand or grasp like all the other things that are going on in the world because you're focusing on just that one aspect of yourself. But and it seems like your ex is sort of like, yeah, the shadow. I feel like the shadow is more at play here. Clingy, needy of affection and attention, thinking one's talent is far greater than it actually is. That is so your ex, like 100%. Unable to commit to relationships, prone to jealousy, self-indulgent and self-centered, successful liar, flair for deception, aware of social standing, desperate to fit in, self-indulgent. Yeah, I feel like that's your ex 100%. Like that's why you're really aware that even though your ex is appearing in your dream, you're still cautious. The Four of Swords, you're still cautious, you're still being careful, because you know that your ex is a successful liar. There was a time when they were romantic per se, like but it wasn't the passionate relationship that you really needed. Okay, I mean, there were aspects to it that were like, this person didn't really want to like be public with their relationship with you. If I'm being totally honest, like, this person did not want a public relationship with you. Okay, they wanted a like to keep your relationship with them a secret. I feel like that's why you're always like, they were always like, when you were like asleep, I feel like, or when you weren't like, when no one was awake and nobody could like see that you guys were together, like, that's when they wanted to like be in a relationship with you. And I feel like it had a lot to do with like text messages back and forth with each other that weren't like public to the public eye, like people weren't seeing these text messages, things like that. Okay, Aries. So when it came to making your relationship more public, like going out on a picnic together, for instance, okay, that's like a very romantic thing, okay, to like do with your person. But they didn't want people to see you together because they um, were, you know, maybe there was something they were insecure about. They couldn't overcome it, so they had to just pretend that nothing was going on between you two when really there was something going on between you two. Okay, so obviously we have Queen of Cups, we have the Magician here. Okay, so there is a divine masculine, divine feminine, very mature. Okay, no longer playing these mind games, no longer um, settling for less. Okay, the Queen of Cups, she's a queen. Okay, she ain't gonna settle for less than she deserves. Okay, she's sitting on her throne, you know, out by the ocean, drinking a nice cup of Chardonnay or something. I don't know, right? Like, she's chilling there. Okay, and the Magician is a masculine. He's not afraid to express himself and the way he wants to publicly. Okay, he's gonna use all his talents. He's going to use all of his magic, infinite power, infinite wisdom, infinite abundance. He's going to make the magic. Okay, so there is this feeling, okay, here coming in that I'm getting, that's like, you're very outwardly now yourself. You're very outwardly now being your authentic self, emotionally, creatively. So that's a huge major shift from like this dream of feeling a certain way. All right. Yeah. So you got that going on for you for sure. It's, you know, the Queen of Cups is a healer. Okay. There's another Queen of Cups here. So, and there's another Magician here. Okay. Like, the aftermath of you deciding to respect yourself and like basically like no longer put up with, you know, somebody who isn't willing to go public with your relationship. Okay, is something very it's like, it's almost like it's an act of self-love, it's an act of self-respect, because some people might be okay with, you know, not wanting to be public about who they're with at first, you know, like when they're very like first starting out the relationship, right? um, but honestly, though, like, that could be a red flag, even that within itself, because you're like, no, like, if you want a very intimate, private relationship, like, if you want to do a very intimate, private, adult things, right? Then, you know, you have to sort of be like, this is like, you have to say like, this is the person, like, you have to make it like official, like, you have to go public with it. Okay, and I just find like, if you're not doing that, then maybe you aren't really secure with yourself in that way just yet. You know, you're not mature enough yet. Okay, so that could be playing a role there, especially Knight of Cups. Okay, so yeah, the Queen of Wands, okay, is also here. So she's got your back as well, and she's kind of like, you know, if someone isn't showing you who they, um, if someone isn't showing you exactly who they are, or is afraid to show you who they are, that is who they are. They're a scared person. They're a shy person, but to an extent of like not taking a relationship the way the step it needs to go in, the direction it needs to go in. Okay. Yeah, and also the star card here. Okay, Aries. Oh, I didn't even push play. Ah, now it's recording. Oh my goodness. All right, so Smoky Quartz. I don't know if I got to show you the star card or not because I paused this, then I started talking, and then I unpaused it. So, but basically, I'll just go over the star card again with you, okay? This is that kind of energy of like when you have that emotional fulfillment that you are giving to yourself, that are you are pouring into yourself, okay? And you're able to pour it into your relationships with others. But the main thing here is that you're focusing on pouring into yourself as well, okay? So you don't want to settle for someone who isn't willing to like put in the effort and the work that you need for the relationship to go forward and to move forward. Okay. Then we have Smoky Quartz here. Okay. This is grounding, protection, and clarity. Element Earth, Chakra Root. Known for its understated elegance, Smoky Quartz is a type of quartz widely appreciated for its grounding properties by encouraging a stable and peaceful mindset. This crystal is perfect to help connect us to the here and now. Smoky Quartz has also become a go-to for anyone looking to overcome negativity and anxiety. Its strong healing qualities work to soak up and block harmful influences, whether they come from outside or from within. When to use it. During moments of anxiety or uncertainty to regain composure and find inner strength. Where to put it. Keep it in your bedroom or meditation space to create a tranquil atmosphere. Special care. Cleanse periodically to maintain effectiveness and avoid prolonged exposure to sunlight. I let go of the past and future, savoring the now. Alrighty. So again, that's like, you doing what you need to do, right? Like, and it's not about um, pleasing others. Okay, I know there's like acts of kindness and there's self-service or service to others, but like sometimes, Aries, I think when you're getting certain messages from your dream world, okay, and your ex is appearing in it, it's like, what did your ex do to you that is reason why they're appearing now? I mean, they're clearly not like in your life anymore, but you're getting a dream of them, right? You're having a dream about them. And I think the reason for that is like they represented something in your life. They represented a person in your life who wasn't ready to commit to you fully the way you needed to, wasn't ready to give you the emotional fulfillment that you needed, the clarity you needed, the protection you needed, the grounding you needed. Okay. They were somebody who did not decide to publicly make your relationship public because they were, this shadow Knight of Cups, right? They were the opposite of the romantic. Okay. You wanted them to be the romantic. You wanted them to be romantic. You wanted to go on picnics with them, right? But they were um, very prone to jealousy. They were very self-indulgent. They were very self-centered. They were a successful liar. They had a flair for deception. Um, so that isn't something that you need in your life, right? You need the romantic. You need the person who's passionate about you. You need the person who wants to make your relationship with them public and known. And if this ex is coming into your life now, maybe that's a sign that, you know, um, there might be somebody else in your life that is acting very much like that now. Maybe you're in a relationship currently with somebody who's, being very self-indulgent and self-centered. Okay, so that is kind of sort of like the vibe I'm getting because you're obviously not with your ex anymore, unless maybe your ex messaged you out of the blue and was like, hey, you know, I want to get back together. And you're like, are we going on romantic picnics? Are we going out to dinner? Are we going to the movies together? Like, what are we doing here? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want commitment. You don't want just, you know, a fling. You don't want just a secret crush from thing, right? Like, so, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. Secret love affair. No, you're not about that. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. We got the apatite. Okay. Self-expression, communication, inspiration, element air, chakra throat. Apatite is a beautiful gemstone known for helping you think more clearly and communicate better. Its name occurs from the Greek word apate, meaning deceit, because people initially mistook it for the minerals such as aquamarine, tourmaline, and topaz. The energy of apatite assists you in discovering your genuine voice and expressing yourself without the fear of judgment. It simplifies the sharing of your thoughts and feelings by opening and aligning the throat chakra. As a result, apatite becomes an ideal companion for individuals facing challenges in self-expression or those who feel unheard. When to use it during important conversations with public speaking and journaling. Where to put it. Place it in a common area in your home where family or friends often gather. Special care. Prolonged exposure to direct sunlight may cause apatite to fade over time. I release the need for approval and embrace my true voice. Yeah, your ex is someone who really, literally, I mean, they just did not want you to share your voice. They really honestly wanted you to like talk to them privately, you know, text message them, whatever, call them privately when no one was around. You know, probably at night. That's why you're getting this like Four of Swords, you know, at night when you're trying to sleep. They bring you no rest. They bring you no resolution because during the daytime, they're not there. Okay. So you kind of got, you know, this Queen of Cups here who's like, by day, I'm going to be, you know, emotionally fulfilled here. I'm going to be sitting at the beach drinking my pina colada, my Chardonnay, whatever, you know, I am going to be enjoying myself. I am going to be fully embracing the beauty and awe of myself. Okay. And if the person that loves me and respects me wants to sit on the beach with me, then they're going to sit on the beach with me. They're going to acknowledge my presence there. Okay. The Magician is obviously pairing up here with the Queen of Cups, and I think it's like really basically saying, like, I got you. Like, I'm there if you need me to be there. Okay. I mean, I know it's, you know, not per se like the King of Cups, right? But it might not be like the perfect matchup, but it's something that is said to be about a King of Cups, a Magician, and a Queen of Cups that are there together. Okay. And the Queen of Wands and the Magician are, they're helpful. They're healers. They're understanding of you. You know what I'm saying? They bring infinite wisdom and knowledge to the situation that you're in. Okay, and the stars, like at night, you see the stars shining bright. But I feel like this person, they weren't even really seeing you at night. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this person really did not fulfill your emotional needs, and you're probably starting to see some sort of repetitive behavior, maybe now currently even. That's why the person that represented this unemotional, supportive, like emotionally unsupportive, I guess lover, you would say, I guess, in a regard, in a sense, okay, of the word, of romantic interest, okay, is somebody who did not fulfill all of your emotional needs in that aspect. That's why you're dreaming about them, okay? And then you have this apatite, okay, and it's like they aren't letting you self-express yourself to the point where you feel heard. They just want you to express yourself enough to what meets their needs versus your needs. It's almost like you understood what this person's needs were, and then you told them what your needs were, and they said no. Like, they said no, they're not going to fulfill your needs, but they want you to still keep fulfilling their needs. And I feel like because you really cared about this person, you kept like filling their cup, like you kept giving them the emotional stuff that they needed over and over and again. And I feel like this pattern, it repeats itself sometimes, okay? And it's a warning that, and it's a lesson repeating itself, a karmic lesson repeating itself, that's like, you need to break the habit of getting into relationships with people who are not fulfilling your emotional needs. Okay, if you want to take your relationship public and you want to be seen with this person, you want to have them there, you know, showing that they're showing up for you, and they're like, I'm not going to do that. But can you please to satisfy my needs the way I want them to be met, privately, secretly, where no one can see or hear us? No, just no. The response to that is no, Aries, right? Like, you have to say no to that, okay? Okay, we have Alexandrite. Okay. Good luck, versatility, and success. Element fire, chakra, heart, and crown. Named in honor of Tsar Alexander II, Alexandrite was initially discovered in the Ural Mountains. This gemstone is celebrated for its remarkable color changing abilities, shifting from green in sunlight to red under incandescent light. Beyond its rare appearance, Alexandrite is thought to draw in prosperity, good fortune, and success. Um, it is also a symbol of change and versatility. Just like the gem that switches shades, it reminds us of the importance of being flexible and open-minded. When to use it. When starting new business ventures, during negotiations, and significant life changes. Where to put it. Create a crystal grid complementing Alexandrite with other abundant stones. Special care. Handle gently clean with mild soap and change under moonlight. Like a chameleon, I adjust to new situations with grace and ease. Okay. So, again, it's like you're not really like too concerned, honestly, about this ex appearing in your dreams, because I feel like you've kind of already fought that battle and won. That's why you have Queen of Cups, the Magician, and Queen of Wands, and then the Magician again, and the Queen of Cups again. It's because you fought that battle and already won. You stood up for yourself in the past with this person. You overcame the um, hardships that you were facing, the difficulties that you were facing with this person, you know, them not trying to take them really just not taking your relationship with them seriously, but you gained wisdom and knowledge over time, and you became more emotionally in tune with your own emotional needs. Okay. And that allowed you to wake up and say, you know what, I know, like, I'm the star that I am, right? I'm the person I was born to be. Okay, you know, I already know that about myself. You know, you already have that star quality. Okay, the thing is here is like, now you need to let people know, like, I already know my worth and what I need fulfilled emotionally in order for me to be in a relationship with someone. Okay, romantically. Okay, like, that's the whole thing here, is like, you have so many people these days that just don't want to put in the romantic aspect. Okay, they want to just act as if that doesn't even exist in a person anymore, that like isn't real. Romantic feelings are very real. Romance is very real. Okay, it exists. There are a lot of people that just don't believe it, don't want to acknowledge it, or don't want to put in the time, energy, and effort. But that's really like, you're going against the grain here. Like, you're going against what you know in your heart to be true and what your feelings are telling you to be true. And a lot of days, you know, especially today, society, you know, um, like, I'm married, okay? Like, and I've been married a while. So I know the difference between feeling like I'm in a romantic relationship versus not romantic relationship. Okay. And if somebody switches that, like switch off, and they're like, I'm no longer going to be romantic anymore. I'm going to just do the status quo, and romance for me, I don't have the energy or time for that anymore. Like, I would never put up with that. Okay. So you have to think about, like, how you want to be seen or how you want to be heard. And if you put that out there and you manifest that and you say, like, universe, like, I don't want someone like my ex. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who is keeping our relationship a secret and isn't being outwardly public about it. I want someone who actually acknowledges me and says, yeah, like, I really care about you and I really want to be around you and I really want to go out to picnics with you. And that's the kind of person that is more than just, this shallow based, like, one night stand type of deal. Okay. Like, I'm not saying like a one night stand might turn into like a 20-30 year old relationship. You might go into it thinking, oh, if this is going to be a one night stand, whatever, I'm not thinking about commitment, blah, blah. And then the next thing you know, you find out you've been with this person for 20-30 years. But usually, though, it's probably better to just go into a relationship like saying, like, these are the emotional things that I need, and then the other person saying these are the emotional things I need, and then you come into an agreement on that. But I understand, like, that obviously, people aren't that, like, in tune with their self and their feelings. Okay. So, but that is still something that is really more productive and has more positive outcome than people who, are very successful liars and saying, oh, yeah, I want a serious commitment. Oh, yeah, I'll do what you want. And then you commit to them, and then they turn around and, have the Four Swords energy coming in. They have the daggers over there. They have the dastardly gloves on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a very jealous person. They're very needy of affection and attention, but when you ask for attention and affection, they don't want to give it to you. They want you to just give, and you get nothing in return. So, something to think about, okay? So, anyways, that's what I have for you, beautiful souls, and um, I hope that all made sense and everything. And lots of love and light always to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.